current Minnesota Vikings head coach, Mike Zimmer, has always wanted a head coach of the offense so he could just take care of his little defense over there. That's why he had Norvell. That's why he had Pat Shermer. That's why he had Tony Sperano. That's why he had Kevin Stefanski, who became a head coach in his own right. And now that's why he has Gary Ezekiel Kubiak on that side of the ball. But the poison pill of his arrangement is he would always have a valid in-house replacement if the Vikings wanted to go a different direction, right? So especially if the offense was good and the defense fell apart, ipso facto, what happened this year. Now, we've talked about the Vikings firing Zimmer. I still think it's pretty unlikely given the contract situation as well as all of the extraneous circumstances around the 2020 season, even though ownership been kind of mum on the subject. Now, the Wilfs say about 3 words a year. They're fantastic owners. They pay people to do their jobs and they get out of the way. They're not like Jerry Jones. It's great, right? But the fact that even back channeling anonymous sources have not come out and been like, oh yeah, Zimmer's safe. It's interesting, right? So if somehow Zimmer is ousted, could one Gary Hank Hill propane and propane accessories Kubiak be elevated to head coach? Because when I look at Gary Kubiak, I see a backstabbing, bloodthirsty, manipulating Machiavellian schemer, or probably one of the nicest guys that you'll ever meet in your life. Somewhere in between there. But I know the question is, would Gary Kubiak want to be a head coach again? Because, he's already been there, done that, got the t-shirt, won a Super Bowl in 2015, noted health issues have made him take a step away, but he still wanted to be involved. That's why he came on as an offensive consultant to the Vikings in 2019. But also, he didn't want to be offensive coordinator until he was. And then he took that OC job to keep his guys in place. Because remember, the entire Kubiak contingent came over in 2019. Stefanski named OC, and then Kubiak and Clint Kubiak became quarterbacks coach. Rick Dennison became the offensive line coach, as well as Brian Periani started coaching tight ends. And he wants to keep his guys in place. Potentially, the only way to do it, if the Vikings do want some shakeups, is, all right, I guess I'll take one of the 32 head coaching jobs. And it would be an easy coup to pull off if you wanted to, because you could sell to the public, to the fan base, that, hey, offense was good, defense was bad. I turned Dalvin into one of the best running backs in the National Football League. I was the one who made Kirk Cousins not garbage. And then also you have Adam Thielen, a noted red zone threat, as well as Justin friggin' Jefferson. Right? And then Zim, not I, or Rick Dennison, my guy, was the one who insisted that Dakota Dozier start every single week. Zim was the one who kept Justin Jefferson on the bench the first 2 weeks and Ezra Cleveland for the first month and a half of the season, right? Zim was the one who always insisted on running at 2nd and 10. He'd get in the handset, how about we run here, right? So now, is all of that true? Probably not. But there is some degree of truth to it. But the fan base can also be sold on these alternative facts. And they were like, woo, Gary Kubiak, Super Bowl winning head coach. Let's go, right? And frankly, I would kind of be okay with it. I'm warming up to the idea because the offense, like we've said, has been phenomenal since Kubiak got here last year as a consultant, right? And also you got Kevin Stefanski, a head coaching job. And I think that there is an inherent continuity and an advantage of having an offensive-minded head coach, because we've talked about this before. If your head coach is defensive-minded, and then unless you get yourself an end-of-a-career guy like Norv, like Kubiak, etc., then you're always going to be churning over that offensive coordinator spot, because either they'll get fired or they'll get a head coaching job, right? Plus, Gary Kubiak can be like, I won a Super Bowl with Brock Osweiler and the corpse of Peyton Manning, motherfuckers. And Ronnie Hillman was my leading rusher, by the way. Yeah. And also this year's offense, 393 points, which is on pace to be the most of the Zimmer era, as well as 5,784 yards, which is the most. So, the offense hasn't been the problem. The defense continually letting down the team, especially down the stretch, has been the issue. And yes, injuries, yes, opt-outs, yes, all of that stuff. But it is what it is at this point. And also, Kirk has had the best 2 seasons of his career, minus the first 6 games of 2020, under Kubiak, as well as quarterback coach Clint Kubiak. That can't be slept on. So if ownership and Spielman feel like they want to make just a little change, but they don't want to mess with the offense, boom. There's your answer, in-house. Now, the question is, what would Kubiak do for the defense? Well, So Wade Phillips, good old son of bum, prognosticator of the 3-4, has made noise that he wants back in. He wants to be a defensive coordinator somewhere in 2021. Now, Wade was Kubiak's DC with the Texans for 3 years. In fact, even took over as interim head coach after the Texans fired Kubiak in 2013, and 2 years with the Broncos, including the 2015 Super Bowl win, when Mike Remmer's just like, hey, Broncos, you want the Super Bowl? Hey, Von Miller, you want the Super Bowl MVP? There you go. Cool. So the two Texas boys rejoined forces up here in Minnesota. Woo! Texas forever. Let's go. Son of Bum installs the 3-4 defense, turns Danielle Hunter into Von Miller, and let's go. Kubiak keeps his offense going. Dalvin Cook, Jefferson, Thielen, Kirk Cousins. Oh my goodness. So even though I think it's still pretty unlikely that Zimmer gets the axe, the elevation of Kubiak would have the least moving parts. So I think that would be appealing to ownership, because both for continuity of offense, as well as you wouldn't be washing out an entire staff and having to rehire an entire brand new one. So again, I think it's unlikely at this point, but it is something to keep an eye out for. And I mean, Zimmer, set this up himself. Him always having a viable head coaching option on the offensive side of the ball could be his downfall. Never know. But your thoughts? Zimmer out, Kubiak in? Question mark. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Post something on Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.